Have you ever looked in the mirror on a quiet morning, seen your face reflected back, but felt no connection to the person staring at you? Have you ever felt like you're living each day without truly living, as if you're drifting through someone else's life? No motivation, no direction, no sense of control. A repetitive cycle that makes you forget you once had dreams, desires, a vibrant and powerful version of yourself. You might think it takes months, even years to change your life. But the truth is, it only takes a moment. A moment when you look yourself in the eye and say, enough. From today, I'll live like nothing can pull me down again. This isn't a short-term inspirational video that leaves you slipping back into old patterns. This is a journey of awakening. 1 week, 7 days, 7 challenges, and if you walk this path to the end, you won't recognize yourself anymore. But the beautiful thing is, you'll love that person, trust that person, and want to be that person every single day. Join me for these 7 days and you'll understand why the ancient Romans said, the true victor is the one who conquers themselves. If you believe it's time to start anew, hit the subscribe button now. This isn't just a place for sharing life philosophies. It's where people like you, like me, are truly transforming. And if you feel ready, like this video, to let me know you're here, ready to embark on a journey with no turning back. Day 1, destroy the old self. The first day isn't about learning something new, it's about endings. And the first thing to end is the old you. Stoic philosophy never starts with accumulation, it begins with letting go. Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you that causes suffering, but how you react to it. Those reactions come from old beliefs, old habits, the old you, whom you're about to bid farewell. When I say farewell, I don't mean it poetically. I want you to face yourself as if you're standing at the funeral of the old version of you, the one that's held you back, made you procrastinate, live in fear, and react instead of reason. Today is the day you declare firmly, I will no longer live by the instincts of a failure. Start by facing what you're carrying, things so familiar they become chains. Maybe it's sleeping in, the excuse, I don't have time, an obsession with what others think, or that familiar sigh every morning. That's not you. That's the person shaped by circumstances, pressure, and laziness over the years. Today, you strangle that version. Your first task is to write down everything you believe is dragging you down. No need for eloquence or logic, just honesty. Be specific. I procrastinate on work. I mindlessly check my phone. I snap at loved ones. I feel worthless. I think I'm not good enough. This list isn't to torment you, but to clarify. The enemy you must destroy first isn't out there. It's the fragments of your inner self you've nurtured daily. Once you have the list, do something symbolic. Tear it up if it's on paper. Delete it if it's on your phone. Or keep a copy, stick it to your workspace with a note. These are things I no longer accept. Stoics don't avoid reality. They face it, stare it down, and remember it to avoid repeating it. Change never starts by chasing the new. It starts by decisively ending the old. Next, pick one thing from that list, just one, and commit to changing it today. If you stay up late and wake up late, go to bed before 11 p.m. tonight. Don't wait for Monday. Don't wait for time. Do it today. If you complain often, stay silent whenever a negative thought arises today. If you procrastinate, complete one task you've been avoiding. It doesn't matter if it's big or small. What matters is you're doing the opposite of the old you. This isn't just a mental exercise, it's pure Stoic action. Deliberate, independent of emotions. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor revered worldwide for his wisdom and discipline, wrote, "Don't waste time debating what a good person should be one." Today you won't just talk about wanting to change, you'll be living proof of it. You might feel resistance from within. A familiar voice will say, "Come on, don't overthink it. Everyone has weak moments. You have plenty of time." But remember, that voice has kept you stuck for so long. If you're watching this video, reading these words, that's proof you're fed up with stagnation and ready to act. So silence that voice the moment it appears. Answer it with action. You don't need to argue with yourself. Just do the opposite of the old habit. No one needs to validate your change. But if something here stirs you, a discomfort, a desire, or a faint spark of hope, leave a comment below with one thing you're letting go of today. Not for me, but for you. Writing it down is a commitment, and commitment means you're moving, not standing still. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. This will be a place where you're reminded you're not a victim of your emotions, not a product of your circumstances, but the master of your reactions. And if you're serious about this journey, like this video as a promise to yourself that today is the last day you live as the old you. The door is open. Step through it or return to the old cycle. It's your choice. But if you've started day one, know there's no turning back. You won't recognize yourself anymore. And that's not scary. It's the most beautiful thing that can happen to a person. Day 2, physical reinvention. Day 2 begins with a principle every Stoic deeply understands. The body is the vessel of the soul. A strong mind cannot endure long in a weak, confined, or indulgent body. Seneca wrote, "We should not place high expectations on a soul trapped in a body constantly crying out for rest." This isn't about aesthetics or chasing modern body standards. It's about mastery. If your body is a daily battle against laziness, exhaustion, and passivity, how can you face life with purpose and strength? Today is about examining your relationship with your body. You don't need a six-pack or to become an athlete. What you need is to reconnect with yourself through movement, breath, and deliberate steps. Your body reflects everything you've let slide for too long. Erratic schedules, careless eating, inactivity, lack of sleep, sunlight, or fresh air. Today, you begin reclaiming what's been neglected. Start with the simplest, most fundamental act. Wake up 30 minutes earlier than usual. No scrolling on your phone, no lingering in bed. When the alarm rings, sit up, plant your feet on the floor, and say one simple phrase, "I am in control of today." This isn't a mantra, it's a commitment to awaken. You can't master a day if, from the first minute, you're pulled back by your pillow or the excuse, "Just 5 more minutes." Next, dedicate 20 to 30 minutes to movement. It doesn't need to be complex. If you've never exercised, walk briskly. If you're familiar with it, do a simple full-body routine. Push-ups, sit-ups, squats. No gym, no problem. You don't need equipment. You just need yourself. Stoics don't demand perfection. They demand readiness. If you're breathing, alive, with working limbs, you lack nothing to start. Your body will resist. It'll feel sore, tired, or yawn. Understand this. That's the language of a body spoiled for too long. Like a misbehaving child, it needs to be retrained step by step. Be patient. Be firm. Listen, but don't surrender. After you finish, you won't feel light right away, but you'll feel something else, pride. No one can give that to you. No one can buy it. You earn it through action. And after today, you'll crave that feeling, the knowledge that you've overcome a weaker version of yourself. After movement comes nutrition. Don't overcomplicate it with internet diets or calorie counting. Follow one principle. Eat like someone who wants to live long and well. Cut out refined sugar, eliminate fast food, greasy junk, processed trash. Eat real food, things you cook or can name without Googling. Fuel your body with what nourishes, not poisons. Stoics don't chase fleeting pleasures. They choose what's right, even if it's hard. When you bite into junk food for instant gratification, You're prioritizing pleasure over self-respect. The same goes for hydration. Drink more water, plain water, not sugary drinks, sodas, or morning espresso to jolt a mind burned out from too little sleep. Drinking water is a basic, simple act, and one of the first things disciplined people master. You can't claim you'll change your life if you haven't changed how you treat your body daily. Sleep is also part of this physical reinvention. No one can maintain a sharp mind with erratic sleep, late nights, and caffeine dependency. You don't need 9 hours, but you need consistent, sufficient, quality sleep. Reset your biological clock. Turn off your phone an hour before bed. Read a page of Stoic philosophy. Write one line of gratitude for something small from your day. Then sleep like you're preparing for battle, because tomorrow you'll keep fighting to rebuild yourself, and you need to be rested. One often overlooked Stoic practice: connect with nature. The human body wasn't made to live in a box, breathing AC and glued to screens all day. The ancients walked, breathed fresh air, and used wind, sun, and rain as part of their training. Today, spend at least 10 minutes outside, no earbuds, no phone. Just walk slowly, feel the breeze, sun, or clouds. It sounds simple, but it's one of the most effective ways to refresh your body. You don't need to leave the city, just step out of autopilot. These acts, waking early, moving, eating clean, drinking water, sleeping well, breathing outside, seem mundane. But when you string them together in one day, you'll feel noticeably different. You won't feel tired for no reason. Your mind will be clearer. You'll feel in control of something. That's the foundation of personal power. Write down one thing you did differently today compared to every day before. Did you wake up early? Skip the sugary, greasy breakfast? Walk instead of lounge? Record it, no matter how small, because it's proof. If you want to amplify this journey, share it in the comments. Write for yourself, but also to show others they're not alone. If you're here and have done at least one of these things, hit the like button to affirm it. Not for algorithms, but for you, to mark day 2 as the day you took control of your body instead of letting it control you. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now. This journey is long, and I don't want you to quit halfway. Your body is the vessel, your mind is the driver, and you, only you, decide how far you'll go. Next, we'll enter the real battlefield, your mind. But for now, you've ignited yourself like a warrior. Nothing is more inspiring than a body that starts to obey, move, and become an ally instead of a burden. Keep going. Don't break the chain. Let yourself feel proud each day because you didn't give up after day 1. Day 3, mental upgrade. If day 1 was about shattering the old mold and day 2 was about reclaiming your body, day 3 is when you step into the core of all transformation, your mind. Nothing shapes your life more than what you allow to unfold in your head. Everything starts with a thought, a quiet self-talk, an assumption, a reaction. Repeat it long enough and it becomes a groove. One day you feel down and tell yourself, "I'm useless." Without questioning, you believe it. You live as if it's true. You act like a useless person. That's not the truth. It's just a thought you've never challenged. That's why upgrading your mind is the most critical part of any transformation. Not because it holds knowledge, but because it issues commands. And if those commands come from a distorted foundation, everything you do afterward is tainted. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Our life is the result of the thoughts we repeat daily." If you grasp this, it can wake you up instantly. If it's true, you don't need to change your circumstances to change your life. You just need to change the thoughts you repeat. But change doesn't come from hearing a quote or reading a few pages. It comes from deliberate, repeated, conscious action. Today, you'll start rewriting the script of your mind. Your first task is to observe. Spend 10 minutes today, morning or before bed, writing down 3 negative thoughts you often repeat. Don't sugarcoat or soften them. Write them exactly as they appear in your head. Maybe, I always fail, or I'll never measure up to others, or simply, things will always go wrong. By writing them, you drag them out of the shadows where they hold power unnoticed. Stoics don't fear truth, they confront it. Facing your negative thoughts is the first step to dismantling their control. Next, challenge each thought, not with emotion, but with reason. Ask, is it true I always fail? Have I ever succeeded, even in small ways? If you have, that thought is false. Then, is it true I'll never measure up? Who am I comparing myself to? Why do I need to match them? These questions aren't for self-soothing. They expose the irrational. Your mind runs on habit. If you don't intervene, it replays old tracks. Only by challenging them can you overwrite them. Another powerful tool is to write a Stoic counterstatement for each negative thought. For example, instead of, I always fail, write, I've failed before, but that doesn't define my worth. It's data for learning. Or instead of, things will always go wrong, write, I can't control outcomes, but I can control how I respond. This isn't self-help fluff. It's rebuilding belief with reason. The best part? Your mind will listen if you repeat it long and fiercely enough. Beyond challenging negative thoughts, an essential part of upgrading your mind is creating a clear inner space. Today, spend 10 minutes in silent meditation. No music, no guided tracks. Just sit, close your eyes, follow your breath in and out. And when a thought arises, notice it without fighting it, then return to your breath. It sounds simple, but is one of the most powerful exercises to break free from the unconscious grip of thoughts. You'll see your mind jumping from one thing to another. That's a sign you need practice. You don't need to sit long, but you need consistency. Meditation is training to return. Those who return to the present aren't controlled by the past or threatened by the future. If focus is hard, try a writing exercise. List everything worrying you, even the smallest things. Then with a red pen or bold highlight, mark everything you can't control. The weather, what others think, the final outcome of a project. Cross those out, not because they're unimportant, but because you have no power over them. Seneca said, "We suffer not from reality, but from powerless imaginings about reality." By sorting what you can control, you reclaim agency. That's what your mind needs most, a sense of direction. Another key to refreshing your mind is controlling your input. Today, cut off sources that drain your attention without adding real value. Social media, pointless news, unnecessary group chats. Every time you mindlessly open your phone, you're telling your mind, I have nothing better to do. Today, reverse that. Be deliberate. Use your phone with purpose. Open YouTube for content that builds you up, not to kill time. Read a page of philosophy. Listen to a podcast on discipline. The information you consume shapes the inner world you live in. At the end of today, write one statement to be your new mental manifesto. It must be true, weighty, and something you'll repeat every morning for the rest of this challenge. It could be, I control my reactions, not my circumstances. Or, I'm not perfect, but I'm better every day. Or something you create as long as it keeps you alert and strong. Post it where you'll see it daily. Repeat it like you once repeated negative thoughts. That's how you reprogram your mind's operating system. If you've done at least one of these exercises, writing thoughts, challenging them, meditating, curating input, leave a comment about what you change and how you think. It may feel small, but these small shifts turn your inner world. If something today woke you up, hit the like button as a commitment to yourself. I won't think the old way anymore. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Each day you come here, you're doing something different. You're choosing to think clearly, live deliberately, and not let emotions tear your mind apart. And if there's one thing to take from today, it's this. No one can save you from your own thoughts except you. And starting today, you're ready to do just that. Day 4, social presence and command. After 3 days of rebuilding from the ground up, breaking the old self, reclaiming your body, and refreshing your mind, today you step into a different battlefield, the social arena, where everyone participates but few know how to win. Stoicism doesn't teach you to retreat from the world. On the contrary, Stoics lived amidst ambition, pettiness, envy, and praise, yet stood firm like pillars in a storm. Today you begin that journey. Your social presence is how others perceive you. It's not about speaking more or less. It's the energy you bring into a room. It's the weight of your silence, the way you listen instead of clamoring to speak, the calm you maintain when others lose control, the ability to be fully present while others are distracted. A true Stoic doesn't seize power by shouting. They command attention by not being swept into chaos. That's what you'll practice today. First, notice how you move, stand, and sit. Adjust your posture now. Shoulders back, spine straight, eyes forward, not avoiding others' gazes, but not staring aggressively either. This is the stance of someone in control. Don't underestimate this. How you enter a room sends a wordless signal about your self-respect. Those who don't believe in themselves slouch, shrink, and apologize for existing. Those who master themselves don't perform. They simply exist fully and calmly in their own body. Next, your words. Today, speak less than usual. Each time you're tempted to jump into a conversation, pause for 3 seconds and ask, is what I'm about to say necessary, truly valuable, or just filling space? By reducing how often you speak, you filter your language. You'll realize much of what you say is to vent, react, defend, or show off. Stoics don't react unconsciously. They respond deliberately. And that makes a stark difference. When a calm, measured, selective speaker enters, others listen. When you do speak, be clear and deliberate. No rambling, no unnecessary joking. Don't worry about how others judge your tone. Speak with the calm of someone who's thought it through. Only sharing words with value. Power comes from substance, not volume. One concise, honest sentence carries more weight than 10 loud, empty ones. Today, let every word reflect the person you're becoming. Another practical exercise. Listen. Not the kind where you wait for your turn to talk, but listening as if the other person's words are the most important thing in that moment. Look them in the eye. Don't check your phone. Don't glance at others. When you truly listen, you send a rare signal in this age. I'm here with you. That's real power. People trust those who listen. They respect those who don't interrupt. They value those who don't judge from the first sentence. But social power isn't just about attitude and words. It's about controlling your reactions. Today, commit to not judging, gossiping, or complaining about anyone or anything, no matter what happens. Even if someone treats you poorly, even if an unfair situation arises, these are tests. Every time you stay silent instead of retaliating, you win. Every time you remain calm instead of exploding, you forge resilience. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "Your mind becomes invulnerable when you don't let others invade it." Keep that in mind today. You'll be amazed at how quickly you change after just 24 hours of this. People around you will sense something different. No explanation needed, no announcement required. Just maintain that calm in every interaction. A person living deliberately radiates a unique energy. And here's the thing. You don't need to be liked or agreed with. You just need to be steady enough not to be swept into the social whirlwind. One way to reinforce this presence is to quietly help someone without boasting or expecting recognition. A small gesture, a deliberate act of kindness. Stoics don't seek glory from the crowd. They live by reason and virtue. A selfless act, unnoticed, is a mark of inner maturity. At the end of the day, take a few minutes to write about the social situations you navigated. Did you stay calm when you could have snapped? Did you listen fully without interrupting? Did you remain composed under criticism? Each action is a point in your favor on the journey to becoming someone unshaken by society, someone who influences through their calm. If you had a moment of better control and communication today, leave a comment below sharing what you did differently. Write to acknowledge yourself and to show others on this journey they're not alone. If today's content made you see the social world differently, hit the like button to mark that you're no longer living to please others, but as someone with true weight. If you haven't subscribed, now's the time. Tomorrow is day 5, the day of relentless action, where theory isn't enough and only real behavior proves your progress. You don't want to miss a critical step in rebuilding yourself. Hit subscribe to have a companion, a place reminding you daily. You weren't born to blend in, you were born to master. Today doesn't ask you to speak more, do more, or stand out more. It asks you to be fully present, speak when it matters, react with reason, and live as if no one else defines who you are. That's what lets a Stoic enter a noisy world and still hold their core. If you've done even one of these things today, you've already gone further than most of the world. Day 5, Relentless Execution. Day 5 is here, and there's no room for theories, ideas, or vague motivation. This is the day of relentless action, the day you face the tasks you've long delayed, the goals you wrote down and abandoned, the plans fueled by inspiration but killed by laziness. Today, you stop saying, "I'm trying," and start getting it done. If the first 3 days were about dismantling, rebuilding your body, and sharpening your mind, today is about proving you control your actions by doing, even when you don't feel like it. Stoic philosophy emphasizes action. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Don't waste time debating what a good person should be. Be one." No one becomes strong by merely thinking. You can't imagine a new version of yourself into existence without acting like that person. What stops most people mid-journey isn't ignorance or lack of skill. It's the failure to execute consistently, relentlessly, without waiting for inspiration. Stoics don't wait for inspiration. They act because it's the right thing to do, regardless of mood. Today, confront the thing you've put off the longest. Maybe it's an unfinished task, an unsent email, a call you've avoided, or an idea you've talked about 100 times but never started. It's sitting there, a rust spot in your mind, eroding your confidence and draining your energy daily. Before noon today, you will complete it. No excuses, no more preparation, no waiting for the right moment. Sit down and do it minute by minute, step by step, until it's done. When you start, a voice will protest. "I'm not ready. I need to think more." What if it's not good? That's not you. It's the instinctive, weak, lazy part you're shedding. You don't need to feel strong to act. Act as if you're already strong, and strength will follow. Action drives emotion, not the other way around. To stay focused, set a timer for 25 minutes. During that time, no phone, no social media, no switching tabs, just you and the task. Call it absolute time, dedicated to one thing only. When it's over, take a 5-minute break. Repeat if needed, but commit to at least one cycle today to tackle what you've avoided. If you finish, write it down. No need for rewards. The inner relief of completion is the greatest prize. Another way to force action is to declare your commitment. If you have a trusted friend, family member, or community on this journey, tell them what you'll finish today. Writing it in the comments below works too. When you say, "Today I'll complete X," you turn a vague intention into a public pledge. That pledge pushes you to act, not out of fear of judgment, but to honor yourself. In the modern world, we're tricked by the illusion of busyness. But busyness isn't action. It's how many hide from doing what matters. Today, distinguish between being busy and executing. A half-hearted email reply, a fruitless meeting, or a workday with a wandering mind. These aren't meaningful actions. Measure today by the important tasks you complete, not the hours you fill. Stoics don't value busyness. They value deliberate action. Epictetus taught, it's not how much you learn, but how much you apply. For every task today, ask, does this bring me closer to the person I'm building? If not, cut it. If yes, do it now. Not later, not another time, not when you're inspired. A common reason for procrastination is fear of imperfect results. But Stoics see every action as part of a process, not a final product. Marcus Aurelius wrote, your task is to do what must be done, expecting nothing beyond your ability. You don't need to do it perfectly, just do it to the best of your ability now. Consistency trumps perfection. The person who acts daily, even imperfectly, beats the one who's great but never starts. If you feel tired today, remind yourself. Exhaustion from work is different from exhaustion from procrastination. One brings satisfaction, knowing you're on the right path. The other brings guilt, knowing another day slipped away in futility. The choice is yours, but if you've made it to day 5, you know the answer. At day's end, take 2 minutes to write down how you feel. No need for eloquence, just honesty. How did it feel to finish that task? Relieved, confident, proud, or simply calmer? Write it down. So when you're tempted to procrastinate again, you can revisit it and remember. The best feelings come from action, not daydreaming. If you completed something you've long delayed, leave a comment. I got it done. No details needed, just the confirmation. It's proof you're not the old you. If this resonates, hit the like button to show you're truly on this journey, not just passing through. If you haven't subscribed, now's the time. The final 2 days aren't just the end of the challenge. They're the start of a new way of living, a solid system, and an unshakable identity. Hit subscribe to confirm, I'm not returning to the old way. Today might be the toughest of the 7 days, but it's also when you see most clearly what you control. No more plans, no vague hopes, just action and results. If you maintain this rhythm, not just today, but moving forward, you'll be someone any goal would fear, because you don't quit, you don't wait for inspiration, you just get it done. Day 6, build a personal system. After 5 days of restructuring yourself from the inside out, today we shift from change to maintenance, to stability, to systems. The truth is simple. Anyone can change in a moment, but only those who build systems sustain that change over time. The early days may be fueled by inspiration or burning resolve, but without a clear structure to operate autonomously, you'll slip back into old cycles. That's why day 6 is about establishment. The day you sit down to create a personal system practical enough to support the new you you're becoming. Stoic philosophy is rooted in inner stability, not the stillness of a stagnant pond, but the steady flow of a directed river. This comes from habits, a structured life, and principles repeated so often they become your identity. No Stoic lives by today's mood or tomorrow's whim. They maintain calm by living within a framework they choose. That's what you'll start doing today. First, define your personal schedule. It sounds basic, but it's the backbone of your system. Choose a fixed wake-up time, no matter when you slept. Controlling when your day starts stabilizes your biological rhythm, directly impacting your energy, alertness, and proactivity all day. Pick a realistic time, not an idealized 4 a.m. if you've never done it, but not a sluggish 9 a.m. either. Start with something like 6 or 6:30 a.m. and treat it as an inviolable ritual. This not only organizes your time but makes each day feel like part of a journey, not a disjointed fragment. Next, systematize your habits. Choose 3 daily habits to practice, not perfectly, but consistently. 1 for your body, light exercise, deep breathing, or drinking water upon waking. 1 for your mind, meditation, journaling, or reading. 1 for action, planning your day, writing a to-do list, or reviewing your evening. Don't complicate it beyond these 3. Repeat them daily until they're as automatic as brushing your teeth or getting dressed. The key to a system is practicality. Many fail by creating a perfect schedule they can't live with. You don't need a machine-like routine, just one with flexibility that upholds core principles. For example, if you miss morning meditation, do it at noon. If you skip a workout, don't call it failure. See it as a signal to adjust. Stoics don't torment themselves over missteps. They use errors as data to improve. Your personal system is a living blueprint, constantly refined but anchored by unchanging values. Within your system, establish a non-negotiable zone, the core discipline where you don't bargain with yourself. For instance, wake up on time, whether you slept well or not. Write 1 line of reflection daily, even without inspiration. Review your actions each evening, even if you fell short. This zone is where you shut out personal opinions or emotions. It's where you prove your inner strength, not just your inner thoughts. A good system also needs structured pauses. Many overlook this. Rest must be deliberate. An exhausted mind loses reason. An unrested body resists discipline. Schedule breaks, moments without phones, work, or tasks. Just stop, breathe, drink water, or walk for 10 minutes. These are times to recharge. Stoics aren't rigid robots who forget to live. They live fully by honoring their body and mind's real needs. Another critical part of your system is a feedback loop. Each day, write what you did well, what needs improvement, and what you learned. 3 lines each evening are enough to cultivate a growth mindset instead of reacting emotionally to yesterday. Writing is how you dialogue with yourself. Seneca wrote, "When the sun sets, I ask myself, what did I do today? Did I err? Did I grow?" This habit fosters profound maturity, evident after weeks of consistency. Your system should also include rules for handling crises. You can't avoid negative emotions, conflicts, fatigue, or surprises, but you can pre-plan responses. For example, when angry, step away for 5 minutes instead of reacting. When negative thoughts arise, write 3 things you're grateful for. When you feel out of control, return to a small action. Drink water, wash your face, tidy your desk. These small protocols keep your system intact during random storms. Today, sit down and write your personal system. Keep it clear, not long. Include your wake-up time, 3 core habits, non-negotiable zone, scheduled rests, and feedback process. Post it where you'll see it daily. If you're serious about this journey, share a piece of your system in the comments. Not to boast, but to affirm you're no longer living by inspiration, but by deliberate structure. If you've built your system today, hit the like button as a confirmation to yourself. You've come too far to turn back. If you haven't subscribed, now's the perfect time. Tomorrow, the final day, you won't just see yourself differently. You'll begin living as a newly forged identity, not a work in progress. No one lives consistently without a system to back them up. With a clear enough system, you won't rely on motivation anymore. The system will do what you once forced yourself to do. That's when change stops being effort and becomes habit. That's when you truly start living like a Stoic, quietly, deliberately, and unshakably. Day 7, solidify your new identity. Day 7, the final day, but also the beginning of everything you'll become from this moment forward. Over the past 6 days, you've done what most people can't. Paused, confronted, dismantled, rebuilt, acted, and laid the foundation for a life of purpose. Today, the only task left is to solidify, not to do more, but to recognize you're no longer who you were. You may not feel perfect. You may still sense unfinished work. But one thing is certain, transformation has happened. Today, you look into the mirror at the new you and say, I know who I am. Stoic philosophy isn't a rigid rule book or harsh doctrine. It's a journey of living as the highest version of humanity, a rational being with self-mastery, capable of shaping themselves rather than being driven by emotions. Over the past 6 days, you've practiced seemingly small but profoundly impactful acts. Waking early, moving your body, eating mindfully, writing thoughts, challenging your mind, controlling reactions, completing tasks, and living with a system. These didn't make you extraordinary overnight, but they did something greater. They redefined you in your own eyes. Today, pause and reflect. Look closely at who you were 6 days ago. That person began this journey with doubts, perhaps exhaustion or confusion. They wrestled with old habits, toxic self-talk, procrastination, and unnamed fears. Now think of yourself today, just days later, with a chain of deliberate actions. The external world may not have shifted much, but inside, you're regaining control. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "True freedom is living as human nature demands." And what is that nature if not discipline, calm, and self-mastery amid chaos? Freedom doesn't come from doing whatever you want. It comes from no longer being dragged by what you thought you wanted. You've seen you can wake up on time without a second alarm. You can stay silent when provoked. You can finish work without waiting for inspiration. You can write your thoughts instead of letting them spiral. These are the clearest signs of a new identity forming. Here's what you must internalize today. Identity isn't something you're born with. It's built daily through what you choose to think, say, and do. Every action is a vote for the person you're becoming. You voted clearly these past 6 days. Today doesn't need flashy new tasks. It needs presence and affirmation. You've changed. No one needs to tell you. You know it. You feel it when you go to bed without regret, wake up without emptiness, stay calm in an argument without feeling defeated, finish a task without needing praise, or write a journal entry and see real progress. Today, write a letter. 2, if you're truly ready. First, to your old self, the one you left behind 6 days ago. Say goodbye, not with resentment or disdain, but with closure. Thank them for what they endured and tried, even in weakness. But be clear, you're no longer that person. You've stepped into a new journey, and that weakness no longer defines your core. Then write to your future self, the person you want to be in a month, 3 months, or a year. Write as if you're already that person, with confidence and clarity. You don't need to predict the future. Just commit to living each day as if that person is watching your actions. You'll be amazed at how much closer you get, step by step. A key part of solidifying your new identity is choosing to maintain one core habit from this challenge. Not all of them, just one that's made a clear impact. Waking early, meditating, writing, finishing tasks, exercising, or controlling your words. Whatever shifted you most, integrate it into daily life. Don't call it a challenge anymore. Call it a principle. This small act will anchor the system you've built, keeping it from crumbling after 7 days. Finally, choose a symbol for today. It could be a written phrase you post where you'll see it daily, a small object you carry, or an image you save. The symbol itself doesn't matter as much as its meaning. Let it remind you that for 1 week, you stood up and rebuilt, and you never have to start over if you keep going. If you truly feel different today, leave a comment sharing your experience after this 7-day journey. 1 line is enough. Write not just for me to see you're here, but to affirm to yourself, You've done what few have the courage to start. If this journey felt valuable, hit the like button as a thank you to yourself, the one who didn't quit when it could have been forgotten. If you haven't subscribed, now's the time. Not for me, but for you. So you have a place to return when you feel lost, to keep building a life of reason, discipline, and depth. This isn't the end, it's the start of a new way of living. Identity doesn't come from resumes or titles, it comes from the small choices you make daily. If you keep living as you have these 7 days, you won't need to say who you are. Others will feel it. Your calm, your steadiness, your consistency will speak, and that's something no one can fake. If you've completed all 7 days, no one needs to tell you. You know you're not the same. Outwardly, you might still look like you, with the same face, job, and familiar challenges. But inside, something has shifted. You've taken charge. You've shown up. You've made decisions. And you've acted. You don't need to change the world to change your life. You just need to change how you live each day. That's what Stoics believe. And now you're living proof. From here, the choice is yours. You could stop, let this fade, and slip back into old patterns. Or you could use this week as a foundation, a milestone, the birth of a new you, someone who knows what they want, doesn't wait for inspiration, acts with reason, lives by a system, and masters themselves. Don't let this week be just a challenge. Let it be a rebirth. If this journey meant something to you, leave a comment. I've started anew. Share this video with at least one person you know needs it. And if you haven't subscribed, do it now. Not to follow me, but to keep a place to return to whenever life gets too loud. Finally, remember, you don't need a year to change your life. You just need 1 week of discipline, intention, and courage. And you've just done that.